Alright guys, we are back with some more Monster Energy Supercross 4. Today we have something, it's kind of dumb, but it is the biggest whoop section ever. So the biggest whoops and the farthest spaced apart whoops you've ever seen. Again, kind of a dumb idea, but the track itself came out pretty good, pretty happy with it. It won't be validated because for some reason my game overrode the save and it duplicated my 2022 Oakland track. So yeah, sorry, it was on PC, but it's gone. And I'm not sure how easy it would be to replicate it. So yeah, all you get to do is see it. Unfortunate, but yeah, let's just jump into it and check it out. And here we have it, the biggest whoop section track you'll ever see. So the first two laps I have to show you are the different line choice you have around the track. But this is it, the biggest whoop section ever. Really dumb. It basically just abuses the physics of the game. The way you can skim the tops of any jump if you're going fast enough, you know what I mean? So it's really dumb. We kind of did this idea in Supercross 3. With the biggest dragon's back ever, but the rest of the track came out pretty good. We do have line choice again. This is probably the best way around the track. The second way's pretty good too, but this is the way I found myself taking it most of the time. And the way I had that whoop section, it was different. What I wanted to do was have a small jump to get on top of them. And then that was it. But the way the jump or the whoop I was trying to use, it didn't put you at the right angle to hit that. You always drop down, and it ate up too much speed because you had to have a ton of speed to hit that, obviously. And so we had to kind of have like a dragon's back to build up to get you to the top of the first whoop, and then it kind of worked from there. But yeah, it seems easy, but it isn't as easy as it looks because it's easy to miss a whoop and then drop down into them, and then it doesn't really work like whatsoever. You find yourself jumping through it, and it's way slower. So if the track hadn't been overrode, like what happened, you could try it, and if you're racing, it's for sure faster to hit it the way I meant for it to be hit, as a big section of whoops. We also do have the two-stroke. I wanted to use the two-stroke on this track, and kind of a funny story I'll tell you. Well, not funny, actually, it's really unfortunate, but we'll talk about that when we switch over to the two-stroke. And I did do one lap as a race against the AI, so I wanted to show you how the first turn, it basically is a quad or a triple if you don't count a table as a double, so nothing too crazy about that. This section you can triple over that table and then clear out over the bottom of that dragon's back, which is pretty cool. I did hit it, but the lap wasn't as good as the ones I have to show you, so I just didn't put it in the video. But you can do it, or you could do it, I guess, if the track was still validated or available. But yeah, and then this section, you know, it's that stair step idea where each jump is a tiny bit farther apart and a little bit bigger. And some of the ideas we've done, you know, there's ideas I've done where I really like that part of the track, and so you'll see me incorporate it in other tracks that I make. But overall, this track felt different. It didn't feel like, you know, a standard track. This track kind of reminded me, not as good, but a decent, like, kind of similar to the biggest dragon's back track. Not just because of the whoop section, but the track itself, I felt like had a pretty good flow to it. It had some tighter, longer, more technical rhythm lanes and sections, and I don't know, just a fun track, and I enjoyed playing on it. Some of the tracks I make, I have sections where it's like, I really don't like this section sucks, or it's really annoying to hit, or it just feels congested and whatnot. But this track, I feel like even the tighter sections aren't, you know, they feel pretty decent, pretty breathable, you know, not congested. And the track, the way I made it, it all centers around the whoop section. I had to put down the straight and then find the biggest, the diagonal longest part of the track to do the whoop section, because those jumps are really big and you need a bunch of space if you want to have a decent sized whoop section out of it. So we built that first, made sure it worked, and then just built the rest of the track around it. That's how we made this. So it's not rocket science, but I did try a few different stadiums. I tried a few different layouts, and none of it really came together very good until we made this track, which I really do like. If I was to give it suck stars, I'd probably give it like, I'd give it 1. It's not my favorite track I've ever made or ever played, but we'd give it probably one-ish stars, maybe 1.5. But this is the CR250 two-stroke. I did want to have more two-stroke gameplay. I wanted to try the 125 on it as well, even though it wouldn't be able to do this whoop section probably. But the reason we didn't do more is because I got a new controller, and it's the same as the one I had. The one I had for years, and I loved it, and it worked great, but one of the triggers wasn't working. It was like it was always down, and so it had to be retired. And so we got another controller, same as the one I had pretty much, but the thumbsticks aren't working. I sometimes couldn't get like a preload, and I don't know why. It was really frustrating. All the jumps felt really flat, and I didn't get any lift off of them because the left thumbstick was like all wonky, and I don't know, it just didn't work. So I only was able to capture this gameplay, the two-stroke, and then I switched over to the other controller, backed out after we got the gameplay that I already showed you, and then my track got deleted somehow. And I had saved it. It was definitely saved, but completely gone. So that's why we only have this two-stroke gameplay of the CR250 on the biggest whoop section ever. And that was the biggest whoop section track you will ever see. Again, you probably think it's really dumb, and you're right, it is. It just abuses the physics of the game. But I was trying to be creative, not just do the same stuff over and over and over again. Like playing the career. The career, it's cool, but I just get tired of doing that over and over and over again every time a new game comes out. I just don't feel like the career has progressed enough to keep doing it. It just feels like the same thing over and over again. And I know this isn't a new game anymore, but that's just an example. So let me know in the comments what you guys think about it. I thought it was it turned out to be a pretty decent track, but I'm really curious to see how you feel about it. If you enjoyed, leave a like on the video. It helps me out. But you guys and girls are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for the support on the channel lately. It really does mean a lot. And until the next video, take it easy.